Just as Aidan pointed out at the start, this strategy has three pillars. The first two relate to the supply of units, whether that's through the local authority construction acquisition programme and the support through the rental sector. The third pillar, and this pillar you're probably interested in yourselves as councillors, is the reform agenda. So there's two aspects to it really. It's I suppose it's these four reform measures, looking at the national local authority rents framework, giving local authorities more powers under Part 2 of the 2014 Housing Miscellaneous Provisions Act with regard to anti-social behaviour, the introduction of a new tenant purchase scheme, and then looking at the whole assessment and allocation process and how that operates in local authorities. So to take the first of those, I suppose as well I should say that there is a commitment as well in the strategy to review the whole thing and to see that the whole system is fit for purpose, and we will be doing that in 2017. To look at the first of these, the local authority rents framework. The 2009 Housing Act actually put in place provision for a national local authority rents framework. But what we have at the moment is local authorities having individual rents, so there's not necessarily a level playing field, if you like, across each county. So the idea of a national rents framework is that it would be a more equitable approach. So if you are, depending on your means, you'll be treated equally in each local authority area. The other new element that the new rents framework will introduce is the fact that it will become a reserved function of the elected members to approve the new rent scheme. Up until this, there's no formal function for elected members in that regard. Now, where are we at the moment with the introduction? It's currently being considered, and I understand that the regulations are at an advanced stage of drafting. We will be in touch with local authorities very soon about putting in place measures to be prepared for the new rents framework. The second reform measure, if you like, that we have looked at under the strategy is Part 2 of the Housing Act 2014. Now, this provided for increased measures for local authorities in their management and maintenance functions, particularly in relation to antisocial behaviour measures. So this element of the Act was commenced in April this year. So we have two sets of regulations to actually commence these provisions. The key issues are putting in place a tenancy warning system for tenants who are in breach of their tenancy agreements. There's revised procedures for repossession of dwellings, and the third thing is the strengthening of powers to secure court orders for exclusion orders for individuals who are engaged in antisocial behaviour. Those exclusion orders can be attained by tenants, by the local authority, or by the approved housing body via the district court. Let's say that the relevant SIs are listed there, and guidance has issued to local authorities by way of circular letter, but we are doing information sessions next week for housing practitioners and legal departments. The third element excuse me, of the reform agenda is the introduction of a new tenant purchase scheme. The commitment in the strategy is that it will be introduced in Q2. Now it's at a very advanced stage.
Water's underway.
Yeah, water's underway. It is at a very advanced stage because the last tenant purchase scheme, the last tenant purchase scheme, it hasn't been in operation since this time last year, basically. So there is a need for one. What's different about this compared to the 1995 scheme is that it will be modelled along incremental purchase lines. So you will have a discount on the purchase price of the property but the tenant will be the tenant purchase scheme will be operated not along the length of the tenancy, but rather on the tenant's ability to pay. So I suppose there's advantages here for both local authorities and for the tenant himself themselves, because it's not related to the length of time they have been in the property. So they'll be able to engage in a tenant purchase arrangement sooner in their tenancy. And also there's provision there for the local authority for a clawback measure if the dwelling were to be sold before the end of the discount period had elapsed. The guidance will obviously issue to local authorities, but the expectation is that these regulations will be made in the very near future, and that they should be operational before the end of the year. The final and probably maybe even the most important element of the work we're doing under the reform agenda is to look at the whole system of assessment and allocation. Aidan mentioned the 89,000 that are on the housing list. That's the results of the 2013 needs assessment. In order for us to actually plan and provide the supports required, there is a need to do a needs assessment on a more regular basis. And that is the commitment in the strategy that we will do it on an annual basis from next year. However, to be ready to do that, we have to look at what happens currently. It's a very cumbersome process for local authorities, so we're working with practitioners at the moment to see how we might do it better, doing things smarter, using better use of technology and whatever. Even looking at the application form itself, which is it's a tool in itself. Another issue we put down here, the choice-based letting system. There's commitment there to see can we progress that in other local authority areas. It's currently operational, I know, in South Dublin County Council, but it operates on a local authority ad hoc basis. It provides, I suppose, it's kind of like a bidding system, if you like, for the applicant, where houses become available, they're notified of them via a website, and they can express an interest. It gives then some agency to the applicant in that they have a choice of tenure, whether it's a local authority house or a leased house or an AHB dwelling, and I suppose it's a more transparent process as well. So we are seeing and working with the local authorities who have the system in operation. Can we improve it, and can we roll it out to other local authority areas? As I said, the housing needs assessment is key here to the whole strategy. We're working on the 89,000 figures, but that fluctuates obviously as people move on and off the list. So to be able to do it right and to plan properly, we need more up-to-date figures. I think we can't get away from that fact. So the commitment is to do a needs assessment annually from 2016. And I now have come full circle and back to the strategy. So that's kind of covered the three pillars, if you like, the supply through the local authority construction acquisition programme, the private rentals, the support through the private rental sector, and the reform agenda. So look, our aim is to provide houses for those who don't have the ability to provide them for themselves, but to provide them in a secure, sustainable community. So we're happy to take questions. No, we're not. Paul, I'm going to hand over to Paul Kenny from the Irish Council for Social Housing. Thanks again,
Siobhan. Now